This month, we're doing something different yet again. So the book that I chose for this month is this one, and you see it on the screen, Mariana Mazzucato's book called The Value of Everything, Making and Taking in the Global Economy. This is not about one person like the Iger book. It's not a gender book. It's not a geopolitical book. This is really an ideas book. This is about economic ideas, how we understand things, define things, how we measure things, and why that's important for policy issues as well. And for that, I'm very glad that Arturo is willing to join us. Let's go to the United States, where this is a country that's had mortgage lending and consumer credit for a long time. Why should it be that over the last few years, the last 20 or 30 years, the amount of profitability generated by the financial system has grown from about 10% of all corporate profits to well over 20, in some cases as high as 30? What are they doing to justify that? Or is that an example of market inefficiencies in the financial sector itself?
I'm not very sure that the financial sector is overstated in its role in the economy. It can even be the opposite. And I will agree that it will be very difficult to measure, but it's not clear in which direction. Okay? Mm-hmm. One piece of data that may be important, for example, is that you look at productivity, that is, a revenue generated by banks per capita, per number of employees, they are very much in line with salaries paid in finance. What I mean is that the salary of a Goldman Sachs banker is commensurate with the revenue that she's generating. Okay, and I don't think why we can question the salary of a managing director at Goldman Sachs, but we all agree that Lionel Messi is paying enough. I'm not sure who is generating true value, whether Lionel Messi now in PSG yep. or a Goldman Sachs banker. You see?
Yeah, fair enough. So coming back to inequality, where I see the link is that, again, coming to making and taking, right? I think part of the thrust of this book is that there are people who are contributing a lot but not earning a lot for it, and others who are extracting because they're in a fortunate position where they're owners of capital and they're able to derive income without actually newly producing. And I think she's saying that is exacerbating inequalities.
The financial sector reallocates value over time, and that reallocation is by itself value creating. Okay, I was not happy when reading the book with this dichotomy between creating value and then transferring value.
So even though we can agree that there is value created by the financial sector, not simply extraction, I think it's useful to look over time within a given country or even across countries. Mm-hmm. And in your capacity as director of the World Competitiveness Center, one of the measures for business efficiency is the financial sector. You have a lot of variables there. When you look across countries, what do you advise countries on what is a reasonable level of sophistication and profitability for the financial sector? When would you become concerned that, is the financial sector really generating that much in the way of value to justify that level of profits? Because that's, I think, where Professor Mazzucato is going.
The divergence between China and India in the last 40 years can be explained very well by how China went into having a real financial sector by the creation of the Big Four and then the privatization of the banking sector, while India went in the other direction. Okay, so there is no right magnitude for the financial sector. Obviously, it is excessive in the United States. It is very small in Tanzania. But I think that for prosperity to be achieved, financial systems need to improve gradually. Okay, and need to grow as the economy grows.
Mm-hmm. I would say I would summarize the book with three comments. One is that this notion about the different ways to think of value and how historically it has been done, and that to challenge us to think differently, I think that is quite useful. The second part about the middle part of the book, while I very much take the point that the financial industry or the financial sector adds value the way that Arturo mentioned, I do think it is worth asking what explains this growth over time in certain economies, and can we really say that the greater profitability is in any way justified by a greater output? And I think there's reason to believe there are market inefficiencies. And the irony here is that precisely the industry that talks about its value to help the market economy is itself perhaps benefiting from inefficiencies in the market economy. And then correspondingly, this importance of the public sector.